Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go through some of the news that's come out the past few days, and we're going to touch in on the event that's happening this weekend, and we're going to round out by talking a little bit about Keyshawn Davis. So let's get into it. Some of this news has come out over the past 48 hours, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I haven't been able to cover it yet, so we're going to talk about it now. We'll start with Beterbiev. He will now face Dion Nicholson on the undercard of Ring 4. Dion Nicholson, 34 years of age, from Alabama, USA. Pro record of 22 wins, 18 knockouts, 1 loss. That one coming by way of knockout. That loss was back in 2021, so since then he's gone on a good winning streak. Look, Artur Beterbiev is in a whole nother world to anything Dion Nicholson has faced previously. For me, this is a bit of a stay warm fight. I think Artur Beterbiev plans on fighting Bivol soon, but for whatever reason it's been delayed and he's just trying to stay active. Obviously he's old, he can't afford to take a year, maybe more, off waiting for Bivol. So I think this is not a comfortable fight, but I think it's something that Artur Beterbiev will be able to get a few rounds in, and I would expect him probably to stop him and just sort of get the body going again. Now, this news has come out. As far as I know, it is true, but it hasn't actually been official from people like Ring or Mike Coppinger or anything. But sources are saying that Jared Anderson has pulled out of the fight against Jarrell Miller that was scheduled for Canelo versus Crawford. And now Jarrell Miller is searching for a alternate opponent. Lawrence Okoli believes he will clash with Ajit Kabayel for a WBC interim heavyweight belt. That's somewhere in the close future. He didn't actually say when he expects it, but he doesn't think it'll be very long. Obviously, Lawrence Okoli, he's injured at the moment. Ajit Kabayel seems like he is no part of the title talk at all. It does seem as though it's going to be Parker or it's going to be Fury. Ajit Kabayel, I think we're going to see him in the very, very near future fighting for a world title. I think it all just depends what happens with Usyk and when those belts get either vacated or distributed out, or what happens there. Lawrence Okoli versus Ajit Kabayel, I think it'll be a terrific fight. Ajit Kabayel really impressed me with that Zhang win. Christian Bealey will take on Lester Martinez on the undercard of Canelo versus Crawford. Christian Bealey, he's just trying to vie his time. Whether this is a precursor to a future Bealey versus Canelo fight, I'm not sure. I think him, Hamza Shiraz, Pacheco, the future of super middleweight, they're all very, very, very good fighters. All right, let's talk about this weekend's card. It's actually Friday that it's happening, but depends on where you are. It'll either be Friday night or Saturday morning, or earlier Friday. It is on DAZN. It is in Libya. The main event will be Mirko Coelho taking on Sergio Rios. This is for the vacant WBA interim featherweight belt. Coelho, he's 24 years of age, from Argentina, 15 wins, 12 knockouts. He's ranked 8 by the WBO and Ring. And Sergio Rios, 24-year-old Mexican, 19 wins, 7 knockouts, 0 losses. So that'll be a very, very tough fight. I think Coelho is an exceptional fighter, and I would expect him to win. All right, we have a co-feature. This is a good one for all you Aussie viewers. Albert Ramirez, he's taking on Jerome Pampalone. This is going to be for the WBA light heavyweight world title eliminator. If you are an Australian boxing fan, you've probably seen Jerome Pampalone quite a few times. He does fight quite regularly, especially within Australia. His last fight, I don't think was. I think his last fight was in Thailand. But the two fights we're about to talk about were both in Australia, and I think most of you would have seen them. Last year, Jerome Pampalone, he took on Malik Zinad and Connor Wallace. Jerome Pampalone right now, he's sitting 19 wins, 12 knockouts, 2 losses. Now, those 2 losses were those 2 fights last year. They came within 3 or 4 months. He took on Malik Zinad, lost by majority decision. That was an IBF eliminator. Zinad actually went on to fight Bivol. It got blown out, but still. And then Conor Wallace took on Jerome Pamplone. That was a split decision victory for Conor Wallace for the WBO Intercontinental Light Heavyweight. Two very good opponents, Conor Wallace and Malik Zinad. Conor Wallace, he's ranked top 8, I think, most governing bodies within the light heavyweight division. And I think the big thing was it was a majority in a split decision. They were so close. I mean, we're talking judges, one judge changing in one of those fights, and all of a sudden he's on a complete different career path than right now. But look, he's still a very good fighter. He's got himself a WBA world title eliminator, but he's against a killer. Albert Ramirez, he's an outstanding light heavyweight fighter. 21 wins, 18 knockouts, rated 5 by the ring, and top 4 in every other body. He is a devastating KO machine, this guy, honestly. And not only, we're not talking about someone that wears their opponent down and finishes them late. We're talking about someone that's getting KOs, TKOs, retirements. Their opponents are only lasting 4, 5, 6 rounds. Like, he's a machine. But this is the level. Like, if you want to get to the top of this division and take on your Benavidez, your Bivol, your Beterbiev, you've got to be able to swim with these killers. And so far, Pamplone hasn't quite yet. Look, I think Albert Ramirez is better than Conor Wallace and Malik Zinad. So this is a tough fight. I would expect Ramirez to win this fight, but I do expect Pamplone to give a decent show and definitely trouble Ramirez. I just think Ramirez is too good. All right, Junto Nakatani, he's going to vacate his world bantamweight title and move up to super bantamweight. Yeah, I mean, we all know what Nakatani's got his sights set on, so it's just if and when. We'll see how Inoue takes on Akhmadaliev. I would expect if Inoue beats Akhmadaliev, it's simple work. It's Junto versus Inoue. If Akhmadaliev gets an upset, because it would be an upset, I think they're going to revisit that fight, and Junto will have to find an alternate opponent. I probably wouldn't mind seeing him fight someone at super bantamweight anyway whilst he waits for Inoue. Don't just sit around and wait. I don't think it's good for any fighter, because lots of times the fight doesn't go the way it's expected, or the aftermath of that fight might not go expected. Inoue could win but get hurt, and that's another few months that you've got to sit around and wait, and you're not going to make a fight because you're waiting for him. Just set yourself a fight, keep active, fight around the time that Inoue is going to fight, even if it's only a month later, whatever it is, stay active. All right, let's finish up and talk about Keyshawn Davis. Now, Keyshawn Davis went on the Ariel Helwani show, announcing that he has plans to take at least a year off of boxing. This comes after, was it last week? He came out and made that sort of an apology, speaking about the events that occurred and about himself, said that he might retire and all of that stuff. If you didn't see that, he did say, might have been in 2 different interviews, or it could have been in the same, I can't now remember. He said at one point, he's like, I might retire. If there's no options there, I'll just retire. I mean, he's 26. He's not going to retire. He's just trying to tease and try and get interest in himself again after what he did to make a lot of people lose interest. And then he spoke about what happened, saying that he knew he wasn't going to make weight. You know what, let me just get the quote up. Here it is. Just reflecting on that night, it was super wrong, and we were going to write what I did. It wasn't right at all. Me not making weight was not right. It was unprofessional. I can see why people thought I didn't care. Everything about me looked like I didn't care. I knew I was not going to make the weight before I stepped on the scale. We didn't put our hands on anybody. I shouldn't have walked into Albright's locker room, but nobody got touched, and all of that got blown out of proportion. I feel like I let everyone down. I acted like a kid that night. I let everybody down. It's a tough pill to swallow. I'm back though. I'm better. I'm healthy. Yeah, I mean, I think most people had a go at him, me included. But when somebody owns up to their mistakes, you got to acknowledge that, and he did, in that statement, acknowledge his wrongdoing. I did like that he spoke about it. I thought it should have been probably earlier, but I'm glad he addressed it. we're never gonna know what happened in that locker room. He claims he didn't do anything. Some people claim that he did, so we're not going to address that. The fact is that he did apologize, because it was really poor from him, on a sort of a personal level rather than the professional one was bad, but personally he looked worse than probably he did professionally. Where he goes from now, I'm assuming he'll go up a weight division. He's already said that. He said he's going to take off a year. If that's a year from now and we don't see him till September, October next year, that's a very long time. That's a very long time. Like, when was the last time he actually fought? That last fight that he had against Dennis Berenchuk was February of this year. So we're talking 18 months. Maybe it could be up to 18 months before we see him fighting again. That'll be a super lightweight. It's a long time, man. It's a long time for a 26-year-old that honestly has all the potential in the world, and I do believe that. I think he's an exceptional fighter. I thought he was going to pretty much dispatch of Edwin De Los Santos, and I thought it was poor on his part. But look, he apologized. Some people won't like the apology. Some people won't acknowledge it. I do acknowledge it. Owning up to your mistakes is one thing, and he's done that. And now it's how it carries himself from now on. That'll show me how genuine that apology is. But I'm glad he came out and spoke about it. All right, guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe if you are new, and I'm out of here, guys. See ya.